Welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for joining me and my beautiful husband again. If you do not remember, I'm into Zar, okay, Zar Galore, and this is my beautiful husband Joseph, Joe, at Joe Connor 33. Make sure you go follow him and on all the things. We are back. And we are talking all things Married at First Sight. Actually, a really relatively good episode last night, I think.
Yeah, it was. I thought that it was much more eventful than the past couple of weeks. Yeah. I think it was the best one of the season to me. It was the best one of the season.
Right.
Yeah, so it's getting a little better. It was the best one of the season, but it was also one of the more annoying episodes of the season because this whole situation between Alyssa and Chris or trolling. Somebody on Twitter said to call her troll because I said I tweeted out y'all need to help us come up with a new name because my wife doesn't want to use her name
at all
when we review it. And so somebody said call her troll. So I said I can get with troll because I needed something else to call her.
Yeah, and I don't want to be calling her the B word. That's not nice either.
So I said okay, let's go with troll. But so the situation with Troll and Chris has really gotten at an all-time mess. So that's the only thing that's because it's hard to watch. That whole thing is hard to watch. So
it really is. But I'm gonna tell you, before we really dig in, didn't we give you a little teaser? Did you like it? We just put the tip in. What I wanted to tell y'all is it's when the mic is in my face.
That's clear.
Listen, what I want to tell y'all is bust down. Subscribe to this Nene Tapping channel, okay? We love that you come and hang out with us. Make sure you're commenting. We comment back. Joe's got to get better at it, and I'm publicly saying that. Let's dig into this review. I first want to talk about people who had just about 3 minutes and 37 seconds on camera, and that goes to...
That's Noe and Steve for sure.
3 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. It's really good to see them. I know that they're not on camera because they're doing well.
Yeah, whenever you don't see people a lot, it's mostly because they are boring to the producers and the editors. And that's typically a good sign because boring means it's not a lot of drama. And not a lot of drama means you're typically getting along well.
And I'm okay with that. And I'm absolutely positively okay with that. The thing I keep thinking about, and this is where I keep going back and forth in my head about the full production, is like part of me feels a way that they have people on the show that probably shouldn't be here, right?
Yeah.
And then the other part of me is like, maybe we kind of need people like that for there to be a show. Because if it was a bunch of Noise and Steves, Lord knows.
So I understand that sentiment. This is the issue. There's a way to do this where you don't have to put piss poor human beings on the show. You can have an entertaining show. You can have an amazing show.
Yeah.
You can have people who are actually in love. Because let's think about think about your most enjoying the time you've most enjoyed watching the show, right? It's really when you're seeing your favorite couples. It's really when you're seeing Woody and Amani and whoever your favorite couples are, right?
Miles and his wife.
Right. Like we like, speaking for us at least, like we love love and we like watching love, right? Yeah. So watching Woody and Amani to me was just as entertaining as seeing, Chris and Whatchamacallit from last year, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like to me, I would much rather watch people because
grow in love than this shit show.
1,000%. Because the one thing that is going to be constant is whether your relationship is flying high and you are deeply in love with each other, or whether you just met and you don't even know each other, the one constant that is going to remain is conflict is inevitable, right? Like it's just a part of melding lives, a part of being married, a part of going through just living life, right? You can't it don't matter how rich you are or how wealthy you are or how great your job is, or it doesn't matter of any of that. Everybody has conflict. Everybody has dilemmas. Everybody has problems.
We'll still get that.
So you're going to get it regardless because you're filming human beings interacting with each other.
Yeah.
So you don't need to give us Mirla and Alyssa and Chris from last season. You don't need to give us these people who may not be here for the right reasons or who are just piss poor individuals for entertainment.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So, I thought it was really cute. Oh my God, this keep falling on my ear. I thought it was really cute that Noi and Steve were having like the cute little moment in the lake or whatever the case may be, where he got bit by a fish, and he was trying to get her to trust him, and she did, and he did not drop her ass. He held on to her for dear life, even though he was getting eaten the okay. And I thought that was really kind of dope. Like, I think that, you know, it's really good to watch them and have like such an easy temperament with one another, especially because everybody else here is stressing me to bleep out.
Right.
Even though I enjoyed this episode. So let's talk about Lindsay and Mark, because the episode kind of opens with Lindsay and Mark. I'm sorry, my voice. I can't find my words. The episode kind of opens with Lindsay and Mark, and I thought it was a really, really, that's why I need to put it back in my ear. I thought it was a really, really good conversation that they had. They spoke about children and religion, and I thought it was really refreshing. And I agree with her sentiment when she said, I think that religion is important for fundamentals, like a foundation. But I also think that once you have free thinkers, like once you raise your kids to be old enough, and they say, you know, listen, this ain't, I just don't want to go. I feel like, all right, don't fucking go. Like,
yeah, I think Lindsay and Mark had a much better episode, at least for me, because they were alone. They were solo. They was just Lindsay and Mark, and I think that that's what they need. And I think Mark was intentionally pulling away from the group because he's like, I don't know how she gonna act when she get around other people, what she gonna do. So we gonna do our own thing because that's where we're best. And they had almost a drama-free, drama-free episode. And I gotta say, we gotta give Lindsay her props.
We gotta give her props
because she exercised a great deal of maturity and strength when Miss Troll herself was doing her trolling at the table.
Wait, I want to hold on that.
No, I just want to say that we're gonna get into it, but I just want to say that off top before I forget, I got to give her props because we slaughtered her last week. You know what I mean?
Her props for how she handled the situation with Mark, because he had left the room in the previous episode because he needed some space. She went down into the lobby and had a conversation with him, and it felt like they just listened. And you can tell how she was able to hear what he had to say, get what he needed from him, and get what she needed from him, and then say, look, okay, you know what I mean? Maybe I was wrong, whatever the case may be. I expected this and that. And I thought I love to see people communicate effectively, especially as adults, because sometimes adult temper tantrums are a thing. Like, let's be for real. You know what I mean?
We've seen it. We saw Hurricane K. We saw a whole person that was an adult temper tantrum.
Exactly.
She
was an actual adult temper
a walking temper tantrum.
But in real life, you know what I mean? And I thought I was really proud of her. Even her saying, like, where you gonna sleep? He like, well, do you want to go back upstairs together? She like, where the hell you gonna sleep?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I thought that was like really, really good. And it was really eye-opening about how, as much as she could come off messy, just a mess, she's really dedicated to this process. And she likes him.
And right?
You can tell she likes him too.
Let's be honest.
You can tell.
Life gets a lot less difficult when you like the person that you're dealing with, right? You know what I mean? And I think that that's one thing that they have going for them. I think they genuinely like each other. And so even when they have their spats, just liking a person makes it a lot easier to come back down to earth and say, okay, let's talk. Let's, whatever.
The other thing I want to bring up is his landlord. We got some things to talk about here. So Mark has
this mother figure landlord
that he was fucking on. And y'all not going to give me the belief that he wasn't, because she is blowing up his line. Mind you, she was at the wedding, so she knows he got married. He had bed bugs.
They said she
also
Lindsay
a Boston
said,
motherfucking problem because they
Yeah. Lindsay said that she threw them an engagement party. Or threw him an engagement party.
And then turn around and want to blow him up the entire time. Like, oh, I'm going to evict you.
But you know what? Let's be honest. And we know we're not going to say any names, but we know people like that who, if they helped you, if they done anything for you, they have an extreme sense of entitlement to you, right? We know somebody who is adjacent to one of the groups that I play with.
Woo!
Right, and nobody in the group was fucking on her, but she will do the same thing.
Oh my God, what if
right?
It's like that?
So, and I think that's what Lindsay Lindsay described to me. I immediately thought of that situation. I didn't say it in the moment because sometimes we start talking and we don't even hear what's happening. So,
and we were trying to manifest last night. It was a super penis.
Yeah, and we just so I held on to it, but I thought about this person because sometimes you can get like that where you might have a relationship with somebody, they might genuinely be a good person.
Yes.
But because they work with you or because they help you out in certain situations, they feel a sense of entitlement to you.
Your time, your space,
proximity, anything. They will call you. I mean, it's the same thing.
I don't want you to say too much because
I'm not going to say too much, but they expect when they call. It's the same thing where it's the same thing where when they call, they expect you to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Or they will give you some snarky ass remark or some, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing where it's really like a motherly figure.
But that's why I have problems with bitches in my space. You know what I mean? Like it's only one hoe that's running this. And that's me. I don't want none. Like I and even with this person that he's talking about, I told him, we were having a conversation about it, and everybody was like, well, she's a good person, and she's this and that. And I said, I would argue, y'all know I'm always arguing. I would argue that you're not that good of a person. Because if your idea of you'll love bomb me and then want me to do what you want me to do, that's not like, I don't know if that's like goodness. You know what I mean?
I will argue that the people who do this cannot help it. And they're in need of serious therapy to even uncover why they're like that.
And you're absolutely right, because what it is that I'm buying your affection. And if you're not a sugar daddy, it's really not as much fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to blow me up and do all this. Like, that's too much. Like, I don't know. But you know what? You're absolutely right. You didn't say that yesterday, but you're definitely 1050% right. That's exactly what it's like. And I think that it's very, very odd. And then she was like, he got a close relationship with another one. I don't know if it's his friend's wife or...
it's his. She said it's no. She said it's his friend, but she's married.
Okay, so it's his friend, but she's married. Mm-hmm. But she blow him up all the time, like that's her man. Yeah. And we got and certain things could just never happen in my life.
But you know what? This is really this is really normal in the grand scheme of things, right? I remember us talking about this years ago. Women in general can be very possessive, especially not even just over men, right? Like there's been female friends that Zar has had that I felt like uncomfortable with. And she was a woman. She wasn't even gay. Like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like she was, like on that tip, but
she loved me.
She was, I felt like she was so possessive. That and I think that there's many women who can relate. They have friends where you get a man, right, and they don't like no man that you ever had in life. Ain't no man good enough. The minute you say, he dropped the orange juice, oh, you need to leave him. How you gonna be with somebody who just dropped orange juice like that? Like, you know what I mean? There are women out there. So I think that you're at the core, just going through life, you'll come across a female friend, male or female. That'll come across a female friend who is possessive over you, especially when you've been single. Like, especially when you've been single for a while, you guys might not ever have a romantic relationship, but just they are possessive in a sense that they are used to accessing you. Yeah. They don't like when you get a woman, you're not, or a man, right? And that's your girlfriend. You're not as easily accessible. You're not always around. You're not always going to the shindigs and going out, right? And they have a problem with that. You can see the vibe change, the energy changes, the mood changes. So what Mark is going through, I've experienced before in a professional sense and a social sense. And I think that this is it's just par for the course. It gets course corrected.
A little bit too motherfucking open for people.
But I think I've seen it happen to many. Like I said, it happened to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so and it's not, and it wasn't anything that you did. Like these people just exist. You know what I mean?
I would argue that I had boundary issues. And had I created more boundaries, then maybe,
I'm not saying that may not be true.
But you don't want to put the full.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I've seen it happen to many type of persons, right? Yeah. And so it's not a foreign thing. And I think it's just a time of time correcting things, right? People in your space got to get used to you and your relationship, and you got to set those boundaries so they can get used to it.
Yeah, you're right. So let's move on to Katina and Olajuwon. But I do want to give Lindsay the award for most improved. So hey, girl.
Lindsay definitely wins most improved.
I mean,
we're not going to talk about it yet, but when do you want to talk about the table?
At the end.
Because I want to talk about it.
I know. I can tell you got to get it up off your chest, Dad.
Because I can appreciate that type of restraint.
So Katina and Olajuwon go horseback riding, and he gets on her motherfucking nerves. Okay,
the whole time,
the entire time, and honestly, rightfully the bleep so, because she first of all, I would give Katina's in second place for most improved to me, because she's coming out of her shell, and you can really see how ready she is for this moment, and how patient she wants to be, but how very clear she is about how she wants to be treated and how she gets that across. Because I appreciated her like saying, like getting to the point on the horse, like I'm done with this shit. Like, you know what I mean? We went horseback riding.
And it was awesome. And I tamed that horse. Okay. I tamed it.
He's a weirdo.
I sure did.
No, it was a good time though. I was scared though, to her point. Like, and we were on like a cliff in Mexico.
Yeah, we was basically mountain hiking.
With the
horses.
Yeah. So it felt like we went all the way up and it came all the way down. So when you're on a horse, it feels mad weird. Mm-hmm. But it was really a good time. But it felt completely natural for me though. Like full disclosure, I felt like I was in my natural habitat. I had to go. So. Good night. No, but I thought it was really dope that they went, but in that she's coming out of her shell enough to try new things. But he's got to meet her. She said something really real, like, I'm doing all this stuff out of my comfort zone. You have to meet me in the middle. Like, you have to recognize that, hello, this is out of my comfort zone. And you can't just be like, just do it. Like, it's fine. If he went, let me tell you something. My girlfriend always say, when we be around guys and they be having too much personality, she'd be like, oh, he will punch you right in the mouth. I be like, girl, you already know. I'm like, because I would have to be like, if you sit the fuck down,
but you know what?
Stupid ass acting like that.
I think similar to Mark and Lindsay, it's very clear to me that Katina and Olajuwon like each other. Mm-hmm. And they also are actively listening to each other, mm-hmm. because as jittery and bountiful of energy as Olajuwon may be, when you hear him talk about their interactions and their experiences, he is also very well aware.
That is very true.
He's very aware, and he's
like, he knew what
he was doing. He heard her when she said, you know what, I need you to be more patient. He said, I need to be more patient before my wife yokes me up. Yep. I need to do this because I'm a ball of energy. And sometimes I need to learn that everybody else is not like that. Yeah. And he's very aware. She is also very aware. Well, she'll say, like, sometimes I know that I need to step my cookies up to experience life with my man, because everybody don't just want to sit on the couch, you know? And I also resonate with that, because that is very much so us, right? Mm-hmm. She don't want to do nothing.
Y'all know, I don't know if y'all know how hard I work during the week. And he sees me like sitting on the couch working. So Joe don't really think I do anything.
No, that's not true. That is
he really true. Don't. No, I really genuinely believe that.
That's not true. That is not true.
So when I'm like, I work very hard.
She is just, listen.
Go ahead and say something smart.
Her and Katina have a lot in common, okay?
Because
we go off on vacation. I don't know. I don't want to go here. I don't want to do that. I don't know. It's the water. Now, she'll swim to the middle of the ocean to the point where she's a threat to get eaten by sharks, but she won't, like, do anything else. Like, you know what I mean? She don't want to go jet skiing. She don't want to do none of that.
I don't like none of that. And I can swim. Like, I have no problem. I want to do parasailing. I want to do none of that.
But here's the thing. like Katina, when there's something that I want to do that I really want to do, she's typically down for it. You know what I mean? And so I think that that's the important thing of like that he had to also that he needs to also learn too, right? Like he said, I'm not gonna
gratitude.
He said something to the effect of I'm not gonna stop living my life because my wife is uncomfortable. Yes, you are. Okay?
Yeah,
you absolutely do
and
that
you feel
learn,
uncomfortable because she's uncomfortable.
1,000%, and to the point where you don't even want to do it anymore.
Right, and
because you don't like that her energy change.
But it won't even be a thing that it bothers you. It'll be like she feels unsafe.
Yeah,
and my priority is to make her feel the exact opposite of that.
And also you'll get to the point where your energies are more aligned. Yeah. So when her energy is off, it's not fun for you.
And anymore. She won't even say anything.
Yeah, it's not fun for you anymore. And that'll be the driving force in doing something else and doing something different because your energy is tied to hers. And so if she's not feeling it, you like, this ain't fun for me. Like me just having fun by myself is pointless, right? Yeah, it's not fun, right? Right. So I'll be super down to not do things that I would typically want to do if I feel like, well, she ain't gonna have a good time with that, so I'm not really down, because it'll become more fun when you guys are having fun together. But they're very new, so they're learning these things. But the fact that they're open and they're listening and they're actively listening and then putting these things into work is amazing. And I love seeing. Well, no, but this is what we talk about, like seeing stuff like this. Like they're not shaking the table and throwing glasses, but they are very fun to watch. They're entertaining. I'm never bored when I'm watching them. That's true. Unlike
Jasmina and Michael.
1,000%.
Sleep. Boo. Tomato.
I literally just watched that meme.
Did you really? I speak in TikTok now, y'all. So it's so good, isn't it?
I just think I like, when girls wear glasses and stuff.
Oh my God. So you love the girl who did to me.
No,
I should bash you right now.
That's not what I was saying.
Oh, y'all about to be privy to some domestic violence.
No, that's not what I was saying.
What I'm saying is, Jasmina and Michael, she had glasses.
I always tell Zara that she should wear glasses more.
No.
She never wear, but she got all these pair of whimsical, amazing glasses, but she just doesn't want to wear them.
Nah. Let's talk about Jasmine. I wasn't even going to talk about Jasmine and Michael. I forgot that they was even on this goddamn show.
Everybody did. But not for the same reasons that you forget Noe and Steve is on there.
I know.
Jasmine and Michael just literally have no chemistry. They have no vibe.
I have no notes on Jasmine and Michael.
Because
I literally wrote their name and wrote nothing.
There's nothing to have a note on. They have no vibe. They have no chemistry. Jasmina gives Michael dust. And it plays off on screen. And I think that the producer saw it in editing was like, we just can't use any of this footage.
And that's why they're not on screen a lot either. Talk about at 3 minutes and 37 seconds. You know what I mean? I do like that Michael said that they're making strides. They went to go to the lake and everything or go to the cliffs or whatever together. I thought that was really cool. But to your point, I don't know if it's, I don't want to blame this on her. I don't know if it's that they just don't have chemistry, or is she actively stopping the chemistry?
And I would argue she is a big participant in putting the kibosh on the chemistry, right? And they was talking about this on Twitter. Shout out to any new Twitter subscribers we have, because that's one thing that I need to keep doing, tweeting during the show, because it is Married at First Sight. Married at First Sight Twitter is lit. Okay. And I know we have a few subscribers from there, so I need to be better at that. Shout out to Married at First Sight Twitter.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter made a good point, and they said there was a photo tweeted or something with Yasmina and Alyssa, and it said something about, friends, how many of us have them, or some dumb shit like that. And they made the point that they're not black people. They made the point that but Alyssa and Jasmina are friends. They friends.
I just say Alyssa do not like black people.
And so I don't care. They made the point that Alyssa and Jasmina being
are the
friends
same person.
It's not surprising. And I said the same thing. I said that's a good point, because low key, Jasmina is way more close to Alyssa as a person than the camera shows, because she's not on camera and she gives dust or whatever. I think that There's no wonder why Jasmina was caping like she was for Alyssa at that table.
And by
because
caping,
they are much closer to the same person than I think anybody else realizes.
And high-key, she's giving Alyssa, but in a different way.
She is.
She's really doing what Alyssa should be doing, just riding
yes.
the wave.
Yes.
And
yes.
And that's really what's happening, because you're not going to get me to believe that her and Chris, I mean, Alyssa, oh, I hate that bitch name, Voldemort and Jasmina aren't going to the same thing, because I really do think they are. So that's number one. Number two, let's talk about the interaction with the homegirls. Okay, so Voldemort sits down and she speaks to the homegirls, and she's like, and by homegirls, I mean the Black women, okay, the queens, all right? And what it really said to me was that either Jasmina, see, I'm this kind of friend too, where I'll defend your right to be wrong, but I'm also very much, if you're married, and any of my married friends know this, we're going to have real conversation. And I might say out loud, bitch, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, whatever the case may be. But I really do feel like I'm all about the preservation of the life of your marriage. So I speak to that first.
Right, because I'm trying to call a spade so that you can stay in your relationship.
And if we're keeping it 100, if we're keeping it 1,000, I don't have a lot of single girlfriends. So I want you to stay married, because me and my husband date couples.
Yeah.
That's saying we ain't doing all that. Exactly. We ain't doing all that.
You know, we did have a weird night one time.
No, oh my God, we should tell you all that. Oh, we had a weird. It was a fantastic night.
It was an amazing night.
But it got weird and I got nervous.
It was just
no. One day we'll tell y'all that story.
It's a good story. It's a good
story. It's a warm story.
It is. It's a fun story.
Fun story. It really is. But we ain't here for it.
We made it out though.
Yeah, exactly. Unscathed.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that it was very odd to me that they sat there and listened to her, and the only one who pushed back on her actions and just called a spade a spade was Katina.
Yeah, and I wasn't surprised by it, because the one thing that we can say about Katina and Elijah is they are very aware of themselves, not only themselves, but their surroundings and what's happening with the cast. And they're very real and transparent, right? So if Katina feel like you're bullshitting her, like she felt like Lindsay was on the boat, she will stop and say, no, Lindsay, you're full of shit. That's not what happened. And you're not going to sit here and pump fake like that's what happened, right? And I like that Katina will call people on a bullshit very much in the way that Gil was last season. She's kind of like this season's Gil, right?
She's giving earthy energy. Somebody tell me what her sign is.
Let
me know.
Very much like Gil was last season, and we always appreciate those people, because they 9 times out of 10 they're saying what we're thinking, and we like, somebody say it, and then they say it.
And the fact that somebody in her circle, like somebody in that group, was able to say, just say you're not attracted to him. Like, you know what I mean? But you can't. Because
everybody knows what the real
and she wouldn't even say it.
She wouldn't say it because she is hell bent on convincing us that she is the best person you've ever met.
Yep.
I said on Twitter, shout out to Married First Sight Twitter, I said the next week's drinking game should be take a shot every time Troll tries to convince us that she's a good person. Somebody said, Joe, we'll all die.
We'll die. It'll be alcohol poisoning. But my thing is, I have never, unless I'm angry, because I have in angry moments said, like, I'm good to people. But I also don't refer to myself as a good person, because I always tell people,
good people,
I don't think I'm a good person. I think I'm an okay human being.
Good people don't have to constantly tell people that they are a good person.
And that's the truth. And it's like, but even her mom, she was like, my mom is upset with me because she thinks I'm being mean to him. But what I thought, I don't even want to get into that, but I really want to talk about is how Jasmina didn't say that one thing, and that to me was mad weird. And I don't like stuff like that, because if I'm really rocking with you, like we're really friends, it's this, oh my God, I hope I can find it. It's this, what do they call it? Not a meme, but like a TikTok that all my girlfriends tag me in. And it's like the girl at the hair salon, and she like, yeah, but you ain't really steal no money. And she'd be like, but I stole $10,000. And then she'd be like, but you ain't really cheat on him. She was like, I was messing with 5 other men. Like, I'm really that girlfriend that's like, girl, you ain't even do that much. Like, you know what I mean? But I do think it's something to accountability, and it's something to saying and being a realist and saying, like, girl, did you or did you not sign up for this?
Right.
But the producers got on that ass, okay? And I'm very happy about that. One of the things they did was pass the cow, which been absent this entire time, and this
which I get it because the honeymoon is 60 episodes and he's not there. So I
60.
like we got to get them back home so that they can actually, because it seems like when they did the preview for the next episode, it seems like they go back home and immediately have a sit down with Pastor Cow, which is so needed.
Chris is obviously delusional. Let's be clear.
We know why Chris is on the show.
He's a hopeless romantic.
We know why, but he's also a rug.
But hopeless.
He's also a rug. He lets people
poor baby,
trounce on top of him. And I think that he also is aware of that. He said something at the table, which kind of alluded to, like, I know that I need to stop being so available to people who are unavailable to me. Yeah. And I think that we all have our flaws and things that we work through. And that's just one of the things that he's working through. And it's very evident because it plays out on camera. I mean, to even say, which I'm glad Elijah pointed out, to even say, if you're just 1% in, I'm in. No, bro. Like, somebody giving you their ass to kiss does not mean you should go all in. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? And I get what he's saying. Like, he doesn't want to. And what she's trying to do, we'll just move right into Voldemort and Chris. What she is trying to do is get him to say, I'm done. And what I'm proud of him for doing is not giving her that satisfaction.
Yeah, it's that you break up with me so I don't look like the bad person. Which you is so immature.
A bad person.
You're a terrible person.
And the fact that I just really get bothered by, I don't know. It bothers me a bit that Jasmine is even cool with her. But I don't know. I mean, like, obviously we don't know these people.
They're close. They are closer in personality than we realize, because Jasmine doesn't talk as much, and she's doing a better job
of hiding it.
Of hiding it. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think you're right. But it's just really upsetting to me. Like, it's really telling.
Oh yeah,
it's really telling.
Because low key.
Ain't no way. If I seen somebody treating another human being like that,
it's no way I'm sitting there.
Way I could sit in there and act like, oh, everything is cool. But she got, even when they were at the table, we ain't even all the way there yet, but I gotta point this out. I'm pulling to you. Even when they were at the table and he said, if you're 1% in, like, if we're going to have a conversation, we're going to have it. Because the reality is, you're not having this conversation with me. So I'm going to have it. I'm going to say what I need to say in front of all these people so they know what it is. This is Chris. Chris says whatever he says about, like, you need to let me know whether you're all in or all out. And she was like, well, I don't even think this is a conversation for us. Like, you can't force her to do it.
I mean, that was whack. That was
You're
so
a weirdo, bro.
That was whack.
Are you kidding me? Like,
but that's when she showed her true colors, and that's when I was like, "Oh, there it is."
And that kind of upsets me because she's so cute.
Yeah, but
it felt really like Mean Girl-esque.
It
like,
is.
Let's pile on
it
him.
was,
and I just wasn't feeling that vibe. And I really do support Black women being anything they want to be. Let's be clear.
But not trolls.
But and not caping for not caping for Voldemort.
Yeah, not at all. That was whack. Okay. That was so whack, and you could tell because the good people at the table were squirming in their seats. Lindsay is like,
Katina is over there rolling her eyes.
Katina rolling her eyes a lot. The memes on Twitter afterwards was hilarious. Elijah is looking at her like, Lindsay almost choked on grapes because she couldn't put stuff in her mouth fast enough to hold her tongue. And Jasmine over here like, well, take your time, boo. Because, like, what? That was so whack. That was so whack.
And you know how she feels. And that's what makes it more whack. Because, the problem is, it's so many parts of me, y'all. I'm so complex. Part of me loves to terrorize men. Like, I love it. I love to do it. It's a pastime. The other part of me loves people and humanity so much that when people are hurt or heartbroken or whatever, I just can't see that. Even if it is a man.
And the thing about it is, too, that you can tell that Chris is a good person.
You could tell.
And part of his issue was he's just allowed people to walk all over him. So when you see people like that and you're not that person, you want to let the lion jump out of you to save that person.
Yeah. But how about, when they got done doing the tennis, and Chris wanted to have the conversation with Voldemort, and she was getting all huffy and puffy about it, like, oh, well, you want to move in the apartment, and you just made a decision. And he was like, no, you can live in an apartment too. Like, oh no. I was like,
that was one of the hardest parts to watch.
It was disgusting. So you want to be on TV, but you don't want to be on TV for the reason why you're supposed to be on TV. And the producer said, and I quote, "This is married at first sight, not single at first sight." Well, it was very clear that whomever was her producer at the time had to call his producer. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? He had to call his supervisor to come deal with this raggedy ass bitch. And it's really annoying. And I mean that. And I hate to talk about women like that, but sometimes people trigger you so deeply that you just cannot understand how human beings could treat other human beings like that. Like, this the same bitch that be out there talking about she's saving dogs and stuff like that, but you would sit in front of a human living and breathing and could treat them in the manner that you do.
But this also makes me think of a tweet that said, who told you was a good person? Your animal rescues? It had to be. She's Dr. Doolittle.
She gotta be.
She's hearing it from the dogs.
She gotta be. And people think that they do certain things and that makes them like good people. But it's like, no, like you can still be a bad person. And guess what? Being a good person is overrated anyway. You know what I mean? Be whoever you are. Because guess what? Good people make bad decisions all the time and do bad things all the time. Be whomever you are. The issue I have is that you are a terrible person. Just terrible.
And you keep trying to convince us of this bull.
Terrible. I don't know. I've met a few people that I do believe a lot of y'all are spawns of the devil. I just do.
Y'all are from a place that's
y'all are from that place. It's not a
and we just call that place hell.
There you go, babe.
Your demons.
Your demons. And that's what she is. I couldn't believe that she was trying to get like the gaslighting it's like she done lit us the fuck on fire.
And that's what was so frustrating, because Jasmina was assisting her in it. Like, oh, it's okay. This is your business. You don't have to. I couldn't believe it. Ain't none of our business anyway.
Her mouth to say, oh, you don't have to force her.
That was whack.
As if he was being disrespectful.
That was whack. That was so whack.
It was so. A lot of y'all are weird, and that's the truth. A lot of y'all really be cute and be weird as hell.
Straight up.
No, like keeping it.
Which is, and this is why Jasmina is where she is.
Y'all be weird. Like that's the weirdest shit I ever seen. Like no. But I mean, but is it? I don't know. I just don't. I'm so two minds about that.
She is making it a point to not say that she doesn't like him physically, because she thinks that she's saving face by not just admitting it, which is asinine.
Which, in the history of Married at First Sight, we have always said that makes you look worse.
Yeah.
Like when you don't
say what it is,
it makes you look worse.
Say what it is. Just say what it is.
Just say what it is, because we can go with you if that's the thing, right? We're still going to think you're vain and disgusting.
No, but but that's not true, because again, everybody. That's what I'm saying. Everybody is. I'm talking about her. Oh, well, her. Yes, her.
No, I'm talking about her.
She's a disgusting person.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that if you would have led with this, you could have peeled back the level of disgusting that you appeared to people.
Yeah.
If you just said, you know what, I'm not attracted to him, but I'm going to try to see this process out. It's just hard because I put a lot of weight on it, or whatever. At least we can, you know what I mean? But you trying to gaslight everybody to make us think that he's a monster.
Everybody. Gaslight everybody.
The producers.
Oh my God.
You talking to the
Look
producer. Look at how he pointed to the sky. Oh my God. She said, y'all.
He a crap. He a fucking crap.
She literally.
Are you kidding me?
She literally said to the producer, I mean, look at how he's pointing to the sky right now. It's so aggressive. The producer said he's just pointing, like he's just talking to somebody. Like
I don't know how the producers are able to do their job, if I'm being honest.
It was a meme on Twitter, and it said the producer, Alyssa, what's wrong with Chris? And she said he breathed. Like that was it. That's the crux of it. Like you just don't like how he breathes.
How could you even? I just don't understand how you could just dislike a person and you don't even.
It's very kitty. It's very kitty like.
He literally told Lindsay and Mark, all we did, we had the same kind of. Think about the conversations you had on your first night. That's all we had. Like, you know what I mean?
We spent 45 minutes. He said we spent 45 minutes together. He gave this tidbit in the after party. We spent 45 minutes together. After that, she was done with me. She said, and we only had elevator talk. So you knew she saw him coming down the aisle. She was not into him physically, and literally just was going to find a way to sabotage this.
But when the producer hit that ass with, "But are you done?" Nobody's holding you here. You can go. Oh, well, maybe we can just talk about this tomorrow.
Well, because the truth of the matter is, she's contractually obligated to be there. And now we found out in the after party that she tried to legally see if she can get out of it. She contacted her lawyers and literally tried to see if she can get out of it. So for her to keep sitting at the table and do more BS and talking about, well, I'm here, aren't I? You're here because you talked to your lawyers and they told you you don't have enough rocks in your sack to fight this Goliath. She then said, well, I'm here now. So look, I should get kudos for being here. Like we weren't going to find out that you literally tried to legally back your way out of this and realize that you can't.
But that's why this season of the after party is so much better.
It is. Well, it's mainly better because Keisha.
Let's be for real. Keisha's
that's half
Keisha.
of it. Yeah.
Okay. For real.
Because that other girl, Jamie, was terrible.
Terrible. Okay. Why do I like saying terrible like that?
It feels good.
It feels good, don't it?
Yeah.
Thank you. But no, I really do think that Keisha has been able to pull things out that, like, breaking that third wall or whatever they call that, what they call it, the fourth wall, is like amazing for me because it gives us so much insight and it affirms that you are an effed up human being. It also affirms to me, and let me tell y'all something. I said this to Joe. Chris and Lindsay would have been a good match.
Chris and Lindsay. I think that Lindsay, her redeeming qualities are helping her to be committed to this process. So I think that she would have seen the process through with whoever she was matched with. Because
I agree.
She has that in her,
I agree. And some people are failures. And guess what that makes them do? Save dogs. Okay, so
the most random.
Some people are failures and are mediocre. And what's very clear, and I guess I'm two-faced, and yes, I was talking nasty about Lindsay, but at least I said it out loud, okay? But the reality is, I told you this last night. I said the more I watch Lindsay, the more I realize she could be my girlfriend. Then I said I would have to curse her the F out, but me and her would have a good understanding.
You gotta reel her in, yeah, because she's kind of wild. She's like a dog. Like, you gotta reel her in.
You just gotta sometimes you gotta smack a dog on his nose and push his face in the piss. And that's just, and people will be, no, you don't do that. We don't do that. Yes. Okay.
Your trainers do.
Sure. Okay. You know what I mean? We don't do that. But what I want to move on to is the dinner. The dinner was really insightful as well, though. So everybody sits around a round table. They talk about where they are and how's it going with them. And Lindsay, first of all, Michael and Jasmina, her in these faces, guys. Do y'all not watch her face when she's talking about him or talking about something?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what we were talking about on Twitter when we were saying, like, it's subtle. But if you pay attention, Jasmina is really more aligned with Alyssa than you realize. She'll talk about him and she'll roll her eyes with disgust. It's like, what did he do to you?
It's almost taking me back to the moment where he said he cut her off. She cut him off. It's almost making me think, like, yeah, we saw it and she didn't do it, but maybe it was something else there.
It was something there. And sometimes those things are a vibe. Sometimes you feel something in the room that we can't see, that we can.
But I do it too. Sometimes I could be talking and I go a little bit too far for Joe, and then he'll get immediately annoyed. You know what I mean? And so I get that there, like, to your point, it could be something that was said, a vibe that triggered his feelings. You know what I mean? Because the more I'm watching this, the more I'm feeling like she's a bit antagonistic. Even when they were on the rock and he was trying to carve their name into the rock, which I thought was a cute gesture. She was like, man, you don't ruin this beautiful rock. Who would say that?
It's just weird. Y'all pay attention moving forward. Pay attention, because I think it took her caping patrol for us to be like, that was weird. You know what I mean? And I think if we pay attention a little bit more, we'll see these nuggets that she's dropping, these troll nuggets that she's dropping that makes us go, damn, like, did Michael get low-key fixed?
Yes, Michael got fixed. Let's keep it 100. Y'all knew damn well that girl was not gonna like Michael.
But not only that,
not even that Michael's a bad-looking guy.
But not only that, y'all knew from the casting process, y'all handpicked her.
Yeah, for sure.
She never. It takes a certain amount of stick-to-itiveness to just have deep down inside you for you to sign up for something like this. Right. You have to have a certain level of commitment to say, I'm gonna walk towards this, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And you also have to come to terms in your mind, like, okay, I'm gonna go through with this process, right? It's very different from somebody saying, hey, you want to be on TV? Right. It's very different. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. They sit down at the table. They talk about children, how many children they want to have, and Jasmina said, "I want 2 and a possible," which I did think was hilarious, Jasmina, because Steve had no idea what the hell 2 and a possible.
No, he didn't.
Okay,
he didn't.
And for all the blacks, the browns, and all the others that don't know what 2 and a possible is,
spades.
It's a spades reference.
But somebody on Twitter picked it up.
What?
Somebody on Twitter immediately was like, "Oh, shout out to the spades players."
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, even though I'm saying yes, like I play spades, I do not. I play it online, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't play, and also like we getting back. We getting
back. Yeah. Tanil and John. Come on, y'all. We gotta learn. They the only black people on earth that'll take their time and teach you how to play.
They was breaking it down for us.
They was breaking it down.
The problem is we just didn't follow up. We didn't have we didn't play, and you know what I mean?
So this one is dedicated to Neil and John. We love you and we miss you.
Yeah, come to Vegas. How about that?
So that's where we are with that. I mean, well, then they go in and they start talking about how it's been, and everybody was super honest, which I appreciate. Everybody but Voldemort, because why not lie? Why not add
She's been doing it for so long. It's so easy for her.
To the reasons why I'm a demon. Why not add liar to that? Like, so everybody's sitting around, they're saying how they're feeling. I love that Elijah Wan was super. Elijah Wan was right. Oh, I wanted to snap, but I can't snap at the team. But he was right on point when he was talking about them going horseback riding and how sometimes he can push and he needs to be a little bit more in tune with how she's feeling and everything like that. I thought that was like, I thought it made her feel seen, because in any moment where she didn't feel like he got it, I felt like him just saying that meant enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I would say the same thing for Michael as well, when he was talking about, like, you know, maybe the way I phrase things might be a little bit aggressive. That word is so loaded, but like, you know what I mean? And he needs to be more conscious of that. I do think that, but honestly, if we're this, y'all might disagree with me on this, and I want to say sorry in advance, because this might be. I think people get used to dealing with their anger and their trouble and whatever upsets them in a certain way, right? And then they meet somebody and they just continue to do what they've been doing. And sometimes it does take another person to say, you're crossing a line. You know what I mean? Because people don't even know it. They just throw temper tantrums, and then you be looking at them like, do you really act like this?
Well, also, right, if you're in a space like Elijah on, where you're dating multiple people, so you're not even ever deep enough to really care what another person thinks, right? Or you just by yourself, so you don't have anybody to change for, right? I think that, like you said, it just takes encountering somebody who you care about, who you like, eventually love, to be reflective, to be like, oh, okay,
to be reflective.
Okay, I need to do this, because if you Isaac or whatever, whoever the other person was, right? If you're Isaac and somebody,
did you see me thinking about it? I was the lady with the man again.
Yeah, if you're Isaac and you just thinking, if somebody says, "Oh, I want you to do this," you like, I don't care. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Because you don't have any emotional connection to that person. You're not really invested. And so I think that's the difference, where now, like, he's same with her. He's invested, she's invested. And they are listening and being reflective and putting those things into work within their relationship. It's beautiful to actually watch.
Which I appreciate. It is beautiful to watch. And it was nice to see Michael kind of acknowledge that as well. And even Lindsay and Mark talk about where they are and everything. But I want to stop and give Lindsay her props again. This is how, ooh, Lindsay, girl, you kind of like wrapping me up or whatever. Hey, girl. Lindsay knows that Mark is going through what he's going through at home. She told him, pack your shit. We getting you out of there the moment we touch down, and you can put your shit at my house, and then we can move it to the new apartment, and we'll figure it out from there. If you don't got a real one, and a lot of men don't even know what that feels like. A lot of men don't know what it feels like.
And Mark said it. He's like, I've never had anybody who had me like that. You know what I mean?
And he said that's something he got to get used to because he's a giver.
For sure, it is.
And you need to be with so often givers over takers. You know what I mean? But I think that role changes. I think there was a time where I was a supreme taker, just a drainer of energy. You know what I mean? All ways. I was a drainer of currency, your finances, your brain energy, like your energy, your emotional energy, everything like that. And I think that now and I don't know, I might be, a good person. I think that now I'm a giver. I think that I'm very much like, all right, whatever you need, I can, figure it out or whatever the case may be. I think it changes.
I think it changes, to Mark's point, when you get in spaces of people who like, in his situation, like and love and eventually love you, especially as a man. It is weird, especially because being single as a man, it's all about what can you do for me, no matter what space you in. That's all that you.
What can you do for
that's
me?
All you know. That's all you know, and it's even more when you're in Mark's situation and your whole life is based around caregiving, your mama, your grandmama, right? And then the
landlord you sleep.
The landlord, but and then in your dating space, the typical dating space, especially as a young man, is just what can you do for me, right? So then when you get into a more serious situation, it happens. I can relate to this and seeing it. You get into a more serious situation, like it was with me, and it is weird. It takes some adjustment when your wife tell you, "I got you. Don't worry about this." Or because we had a conversation where Zar had to sit me down and say, "You need to share more burdens with me, right?" And because you get so used to like it's just what can you do for me, or I just got to figure shit out on my own, right? And then when you get into a space where your woman is like, I got you, like you're not going through this alone. You got bed bugs, we can figure it out. It's weird and you got to get adjusted to it, but it's beautiful to see because that's the yin and yang of love and marriage and relationship. That's the partnership side of it, right? The partnership side of it is we are a team. And we win together, we lose together, we fight together. And I think that that's the part that is the most rewarding to watch, the most fun, because I love watching Lindsay tell him, like, you know what, you gonna move your shit out of there, fuck her. Like,
I mean, was definitive.
Straight up.
Lindsay is either a Cancer. I'm giving Lindsay either a water sign or a Capricorn. And I'm being specific. I think she's a water sign or Capricorn. Please let me know. I could be so wrong. She's probably a Gemini or something crazy like that. Shout out to all my Geminis. Love y'all. But I think she might be. I'm trying to figure out her energy. But I thought it was really dope that she did that for him as well. Because sometimes you just need to know somebody just rocking with you. Like, fuck all that. Like, life goes on. And what we don't do is bring all this negative energy in our life. And I'm big on that. Like, my thing is, one, I got money, we'll make more tomorrow. I got, like, you know what I mean? I'm so abundant. Like, I'm so powerful. Like, this, I tell people all the time, today is the least amount of money I'm going to make in the rest of my life. Today is the least burden I'm going to have in the rest of my life. And it's like, I'm clear about that. Like, I'm not clear, I manifest these things. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that that's where Lindsay is, where she's in a space where she's just like, it's so many things that's going to burden us. This will not be one of them. That, and she need the old bitch out the way. If we're keeping it 100.
But it's also such an advantage because you move differently when you know that you have somebody that has your back, right? You just move differently. You respond to adversity differently.
Yeah.
You respond to opportunities differently, right? Like if you
Yes,
feel
because
like
I'm big on telling him to say no. Because if that means it's going to take you from me and it's not what it need to be, absolutely not.
It definitely allows you to stand up a little taller. You know what I mean? I remember when Zar first got to LA, and I told her, just figure out what you want to do. Like, you good. Like, we here. She was telling everybody no. She was, she was like.
Let me tell y'all something. I ain't never seen Joe so stressed in his life. When I mean,
Yo,
I was very clear.
It got to the point. I said, that sounds like a good deal, Zara. She's like, no, I don't want to take it.
Let me tell you something. I want to be clear about this story, okay? Because I'm highly qualified. Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
I'm credentialed. Okay. I know I'm around here. I'm around the way girl. I'm doing all these things. I work for one of the largest production companies globally. Okay. You know what I mean? Manage learning applications and everything like that. And I love the job that I was able to get. But the way that I got that was because I said no.
Right.
To so many jobs. When you get like to a certain space in your life, you're just like, no, I'm not getting out of bed for that. And Joe was like, you ain't getting out of bed for that. But I'm like, first of all, if I got to drive, I'm thinking about my drive. I'm thinking about my commute. I'm thinking about this and then that. And I actually had a really good job offer, but it was in Laguna Beach. We lived in LA. So it was like, what, an hour and some change away?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If there's no traffic.
Easily, yeah.
I said, absolutely not. And he was and I didn't even go to the interview. I asked him what the pay was. I was like, oh, is this far away? I don't need to go.
But the point is that you are equipped. Your partner will equip you with this type of, I got your back. You know what I mean? Like when she moved her, I told her like
he did, y'all. I don't even know why I tell y'all the story.
It's not. This is not the point.
But if y'all want to know the story, bust in. If y'all want to know the story,
of course we will definitely divulge.
No, but I'm not telling y'all unless y'all want to know.
I think they want to know. But the point is though that your partnership, the partnership part of your relationship, will allow you bargaining power. Yeah. And I think that's what I'm speaking to. I can relate to that. We can relate to that. And I think that's what's awesome about seeing Lindsay and Mark.
It is. And I just want to end with the fact that the way Voldemort sat at that table and acted a motherfucking fool and then got mad because he wanted to move into the goddamn apartment. And I'm glad that he is 10 toes down about it, because this is forcing her to really, what he's doing, and a lot of us don't do this enough, is give people the opportunity, the space and opportunity to show their ass.
Yeah, 1,000%.
He is giving her the space and the opportunity to show her ass, show why you're really here. He literally said that she is here for the wrong reasons. And the more he talks to her, the more he realizes that. Like the fact that when he sat at the table and said, like, y'all are here for, I'm not here for y'all. Like, I'm not here to hang out with y'all. I'm here to have a marriage and everything like that. And she's like, well, I still want to hang out with my friends. I want to hang out with my girls. Like, I love them. Girl, you just met these bitches. If you don't sit there, like, my thing is like, y'all are weird.
But I'm glad that the producer who ended up later saying some bullshit to Chris, but I'm glad that the producers told her this is married at first sight, not single at first sight. Chris was in another situation, was in another conversation later in the episode where he was only saying the same thing to troll that the producer said at the beach. And then he jumped in and said, well, she needs more time, so give her time.
But let me tell you,
that was weird and whack, and it was trying to play both sides.
And
I thought that was really corny.
And it was bad editing, because if y'all didn't want us to know that y'all was overproducing these moments, now we know. Yeah. Now we know that y'all do things to keep these people in these moments that they do not need to be. Because the reality is, just the other day, bitch, you was telling them they need to go.
You was telling her make
a decision,
shit or get off the pot. Literally, that was the conversation. That was the conversation at the beach. Was like, what are you doing? He literally said to her, this is married at first sight, not single at first sight. So that means that you are here to interact with your husband, the husband that we paired you with, right?
Literally.
And so you can't just be on this show like this is the real world, living in an apartment, having brunch with your girlfriends. Like this is not what this is about. So I'm glad that Chris had a little liquid courage. He had to, because he's never had a battery in his back like that.
I mean,
and he told her, no, that's not what I'm here for. I'm gonna move into the apartment.
He
you can move into the
had a
apartment if you
battery
want to.
in his bag. I don't know if it's the woman that he spoke to earlier in the day that said, "Child, cut your losses." Ain't nobody gonna feel no kind of way because when you are a good person, I tell people this all the time. I went through a separation as well, and I tell people only one person, and this was my Aunt Birdie. I'll never forget this. And I love my mother to death. My Aunt Birdie and my father. I'll say that because my dad was holding me down. But my Aunt Birdie, I told her what the situation was, and she didn't even ask for no details. She said, "And fuck them, leave." And it just was like, sometimes you need a person on your side that's like, listen, if it ain't working,
Chris
it ain't
definitely
working.
needs that because he is. You could tell that he just has this innate thing in him to allow people to walk over him.
And he's a real estate agent, so that's fascinating to me.
It's weird, but
because I don't know, I'm having a hard time.
I don't know why,
Baba.
but we'll fix it for
I'm having a hard time. So we talked enough mess. We done told y'all all our business. If you have not already, bust down. Okay, subscribe to this channel. We're looking for something else to watch. Oh my God, we started watching
Adopting adults just comes on after Married at First Sight. Like,
and I'm starting to feel like adults adopting adults, and we're going to end it soon. But adults adopting adults makes me feel like the FBI is watching me watch it. If you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Why do you say that? Oh.
I don't want to say that out loud because if y'all ain't picking it up, then y'all ain't putting it down.
She's saying it feels very predatorial.
Yes, honey, that's what I'm saying. It feels, and it skeeves me out a bit. But what is wrong with me that I want to watch?
I don't know, because I low-key have no desire to watch that show. It's really
I know.
Creepy. The guy is creepy. It just literally just comes on after Married at First Sight. So it's just on the TV.
They know it's creepy. I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Me and Joe are just going to eat a lot of food and
make a baby.
Subscribe to this motherfucking channel, okay? We love y'all. We'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later. Bye.